still kind of aggravates me. We just give that property all the way out there that, where the pump and the well and all the house that
You
we
mean
had.
Melvin's house?
Uh, no, where we kind of grew up at out there.
Oh, okay.
Uh, where mother died, and I kind of hate I didn't. Thought it wasn't ever doing good. That'd be just kind of like Melvin's grave. I knew we wouldn't ever, and we wouldn't been nobody ever take care of it.
Well, I mean, his is in a good place just because of the fact that it's in that maintained cemetery, and so somebody will always be there.
Yeah, that's true.
Do they? Do you know? See, Granny's in the Monticello City Cemetery, right? So,
Right, yeah,
does the city maintain it at all, or?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so it won't be like it'll be lost and overrun and nobody ever find it again. It's not
No,
like
no,
that.
I mean, it's well marked from the gate. Like I say, I can't, I got her name.
And she's in
Her name,
Colquitt.
huh?
She's in Colquitt,
Uh,
or is she in Monticello? The
she's
lady
in
that.
Monticello,
Okay.
and yeah, it's well marked from the gate back to where, the grave is. And, it won't never be hard to find. I mean, and like I said, it is a city cemetery, and they take care of it.
Where's Aunt Gladys buried?
It's over at I can't even. Lord, I can't think of save my life. There's a good friend of Gladys took care of making sure that Gladys had uh, I mean, buried and grave was paid for. Of
Yeah.
course, I took care of the making sure the grave was paid for, but it's it it's out from it's between Tallahassee and going back over to Alabama.
Oh, she's buried up that way.
Uh,
She's buried between Tallahassee and Alabama somewhere.
yeah, she's buried. It's a cemetery. Uh, shoot, Gladys picked it out before she died. And, yeah, it'll always. I mean, it'll be taken care of. It's in a private cemetery, but
So I've never been to her grave.
it's. I've only been to it maybe two times, but Gladys and oh, I can't think of the lady's name that took care of all that. She lives in a little old town between between yeah, Monticello and
Tallahassee.
No, it's on out. It goes out from Tallahassee back into oh,
And there's Defuniak Springs, which is right on the border of Florida and Alabama.
well, where she's buried at is cemetery, like I say, private cemetery that, oh, like I say, I'll go there again. I've got it all in, where I got people, the papers I've got. But it won't, like I say, it's in a private cemetery, and it'll always be taken care of, as far
Okay.
as, I mean, I don't know how many years, down through life they'll, like I said, it's a private cemetery, and it's paid for by the people that's got families there.
Right.
But how long,
Now, where were you born? Where were you born?
Where was I born in?
Uh-huh.
Newton.
Newton, Georgia.
Newton, Georgia.
Now, did you continue to live there? Did you grow up there in Newton?
No, I grew up out there where I went to school there in Monticello. Something. Shoot, I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at my papers.
Well, why were you born in Newton, though? Why did she go?
Well, that's I was born in Newton. Let me think a little bit. My daddy, of course, was a pastor. I mean, he was, and he was an insurance man at the same time.
Yeah.
He was a pastor too. Yeah, Daddy was died on a Sunday there in Newton.
You think he died of cancer? Do you know what he died of?
Yeah, he died of cancer. Jeanette and I talked about that, and I'm glad that we had the talk about it before Jeanette died. No, like I said, Daddy was what we call a itinerant preacher. Back in those days, I remember, like I say, it was on a Sunday, and I still remember we was out in the backyard playing there, and somebody hollered down from the house that we was living in at the time that LD, your daddy is dead. Daddy
That's a
died.
nice way.
Yeah, it's like,
You were 6, right, or 7?
I was 6.
Wow.
And I won't ever forget when we had the funeral.
Did you know he had been sick?
Huh?
Did you know that he had been sick?
Oh yeah, I knew he was sick because they they made sure that we didn't, disturb him and all.
Okay.
And we I don't, like I said, we can't find the grave. We know practically pretty close to it, but we never could. Jeanette couldn't even remember just exactly where, I mean, pretty near where it was at, but yeah, when we buried Daddy, uh, when they had prayer and everything, and Mother had me by the hand. I don't know exactly who else was along there with us, but anyway, Mother told me, she said, well, son, you're the man of the house now. Me 6 years old.
Ugh.
And that's pretty well true. I mean, I took over taking care of Mother to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Uh, anyway, I know, I wish at that time, when you're 6, you can't, when you're told at 6 years old, you're the man of the house.
Doesn't mean anything to you, really.
Uh, well, it meant I was going to have to help make the living, which I did. I mean, I still went to school and everything, but it made I had other responsibilities then. But yeah, everything turned out good. So.
But you were living somewhere around Newton at that time, so then your mama decided to move to Monticello?
Mother, she had us children some way or another. Of course, Mother got I mean, she got lonely, and she was trying to raise a family there in where we at there at Newton. And
Do you know how old she was when your daddy died?
how old was Mother?
Uh-huh.
She wasn't very about. She wasn't very old. 19 or 20, something like that.
Wow. Well, no, she had to be on that because you were 6. You were probably born when she was 18 or 19, right?
Jeanette kept all those dates and everything.
Yeah, so she was probably in her mid-20s, 25 or something when your daddy died.
Yeah, she probably was. No, I don't think she did. Yeah, she might have been.
Well, she probably needed to be because you think you're 6
Yeah,
at
but
this
I don't
point.
think
So,
she was quite that old.
so you think your mama had you when she was 15 or something, or 16?
No, Lord, I don't know. Greg, it's Mother was, like I say, she was lonely, and she sent her name into some magazine or something, kind of like we even have today. She was trying to find somebody to, I guess, help take care of the 3 kids that Mother had, and it was it's just a whole screwed up mess. But
So she advertises herself to try and find a husband.
well, see, when Daddy died, my daddy died. Uh, and Jeanette told me this not too long before she died, that mother. See, I mean, anyway, she sent her name off somewhere or another to one of these like they have now. Well, like we even see on TV here now.
Yeah, the dating services.
Dating services thing,
Yeah.
and of course, I look back now and understand why, because mother's, after Daddy did a pretty good job taking care of us until he died.
Yeah.
And then after Daddy died, Mother really didn't have anything. I mean, she didn't. Mother. She didn't have much of an education. I can't remember now. Just anyway, she got her. She got this. He was a pedophile. I think in New York, where he come from.
This Curtis guy.
Curtis guy, yeah. Come from New York and had that bicycle. I think I told you about the bicycle. I rode that bicycle for years. That's the only transportation we had to do anything with. But anyway, hadn't been for Jeanette. Jeanette was helped Mother out. I mean, helped me out once I got up big enough to. Well, I took over the reign of. I had to work and go to school. Then I worked I worked on an ice truck for years and grocery store, put groceries up. And,
yeah.
I went to school and then worked like a dog for years. But at least it got us through everything. But anyway, this Curtis guy, like I said, he answered Mother's whatever, got in contact with her, and he was. I should have shot him, I guess. I remember one night at the supper table, he said something to. About so many years ago now. Well, we was living out that time right in that house where y'all got all of the stuff out. But anyway.
House on Water Street?
Well, Water Street. Yeah, we lived out on Water Street for a pretty good while, and then when we. It's been so many years ago now, Greg. I know how we got moved from Water Street out to. Well, Mother started going to Church of God.
Yeah.
And that's the way we got over in that situation. Moved out across town.
So how did you become Baptist though? You go from. She was pretty staunch Church of God, so where did the Baptist thing come in?
Well, it was the Baptist church was just up the street from us there where we was living at that time.
Yeah.
And I just, of course, Mother was going to the Church of God, and that I don't know. It just I didn't like the way they worshipped and all, and so I just. I was like my own man then, and I just started going to the Baptist church there up the street there from us where was at until that's why I got in with the Baptists, just going to school there. I mean, going up to church there.
Yeah.
I like the way their church service is better than I don't know. I wasn't in for that the way they worship back then, and never did particular.
Pentecostal type.
Yeah. Oh, it was very Pentecostal. You know.
Yeah.
That just I don't know. I just didn't. I never did particularly like that. And I had an interest in life.
Now, you told me before that you went into the Air Force at 15, but how could you have finished high school and gone to the Air Force at the same time? How did you do that?
Well, when I went into the Air Force, I started going to. They had uh, ways that you could get credit for school and everything.
Yeah.
And of course, I went into service at 15. I mean, I told them a lie, lied to get in. And that was right after World War II was declared. And man, they were desperate then for, especially young men, like I say, I wasn't 15, but I went into the military at 15 because I mean, I just Charles, the fellow that married the mother at that particular time, mother wouldn't sign that I was 15, and that, but Charles asked me, he said, "You want me to sign?" I said, "Yeah, I got to have one of my parents to sign for it," and he just signed it for me, and they accepted. I went in the Air Force. I mean, went in the military then, and of course got into the Air Force after I got into the military and all.
So did you come back, and then how did you finish school, and where did you graduate from?
Uh,
It's good brain exercise here.
yeah, you're not kidding.
This is my computer.
Computer. I did a lot of work. I mean, I kept my mind. I mean, I kept active while I was uh, that first when I got into the military. When I told them I was 17, I mean, yeah, I was pretty close to my 17th birthday because it was in, I think, November that I got lied to and told them I was 17, I think it was, and I wasn't but about, I don't know about how old I was at that time, but I've always been, I never did come to the point like some of these people did. I kept my mind active back in those days. I mean, I took a lot of correspondence courses and my first term was in the Air Force.
Yeah.
And I went to Guam and went to, I don't know, I spent 3 years just after I got out of, I went out in Texas and got a lot of training in Texas. And I had some good friends back in those days that I've always been a pretty likable boy, I guess, or a fellow, whatever. And I always had a good mind, too, but, I realized, I never was, when I was, even when I was in the military, I think I tasted a beer one time, and boy, that was the awfulest tasting stuff that I ever tasted of. And that cured me from ever wanting to, have anything to do with alcohol. So every chance I had to get, well, they had to, coming back, uh, see, they were coming out of World War II then.
Yeah.
And,
It's been about 45, 46.
yeah, they just didn't have any, leadership, uh, didn't have anybody trained. They offered a lot of opportunities to get a good education, and I just took advantages of the opportunities I had. And that, like I said a while ago, on Guam, man, I spent I forgot how many years on Guam, but I stayed on Guam a pretty good little bit. But it's just, uh, I guess I've been pretty smart, intelligent, or what. But I've always tried to, uh, take advantages of things that I could do that I knew was going to lead up to something. See, uh, when they come out of when World War II ended, and Japanese surrendered, then that just kind of opened up everything, I guess. And so everything, I don't know. Like I say, one alcoholic. Never did drink. That just didn't interest me. And but I took advantage of all of the things the military offered me,
Yeah.
and upgrading everything that I could do and what have you. So that's the way I got my education in until after got up where I remember when I was out in Dallas.
So did you end up getting your high school diploma, or did you end up getting a GED or something?
No, I ended up getting my high school diploma.
What high school did it say you graduated from?
I got all that somewhere. I'd have to go back and look at all that now. I just don't even remember that.
Huh.
Probably was there in Monticello. Because see, we lived there out there on that place where y'all throwed all of that stuff out of the house. We lived there quite a long while, and I mean, I went to school there in Monticello. While I was going to school, I worked, like I said, I worked on the ice truck. I'd work in a grocery store. Uh, I just did anything I could to help put bread on the table.
Sure.
And took advantage of took advantage of the things in the military. They really, well, the government then was kind of like it is. I think it was better then than it is today. But I just took advantage of everything I could, and as you well know, the Lord blessed me in all of that. And, but I didn't become a Christian when I was sitting here trying to think when.
I think you told me you were like 25 or something.
Yeah, somewhere along there. Had a great life.